Ready for the coolest and most fascinating science experiments you've ever seen? I bet you are, so check this out.
Make the ground shake.
I'm back, and today we're making a bunch of awesome science experiments. They're all so amazing and magical, and the best part is that you can find all the ingredients in your kitchen. So let's put our scientific glasses on and let's get started. Let's make a mesmerizing and magical galaxy out of milk. Yup, you heard me right. How mind-blowing is that? Take some whole milk and pour it onto a plate. I'm using a pie plate, but any kind will work. Now grab some food coloring and squeeze it out, making a few colored bunches around the plate. I decided to use blue and purple because, as said, I wanted to make it look like a galaxy. You can also make a rainbow explosion by using all the beautiful colors of the rainbow. To activate our magical galaxy, we need to dip a cotton pad or a napkin in some dish soap. Then place it right in the middle of your plate and let the epic show begin. The colors will start dancing around, creating gorgeous marble effect. Seems like the dish soap is pushing milk towards the outer edge of a plate. Food coloring wants to have some fun too, so it joins the ride, leaving beautiful color traces behind. To make this look like a real galaxy, let's pour in some silver glitter to represent the stars. You can even take a couple of Q-tips and play with it. Just one swipe creates such a gorgeous swirly marble effect. How pretty! I could seriously play and watch these swirls for days. Let's take our galaxy to another level of epicness. Yep, that's possible. I'm gonna add in some holographic heart-shaped confetti too. These hearts are so sparkly and beautiful. Sprinkle them all around your milk galaxy and you're ready to enjoy the sparkliest galaxy dance. But what is the science behind this awesome experiment? The main job of dish soap is to go after fat and break it down. Soap chases the fat molecules in milk and tries to dissolve them. This causes the food coloring to move and mix, creating a beautiful, colorful display. That's why whole milk works best for this experiment. The fattier, the better. This way the soap has lots of fat molecules to catch, which results in a happier, colorful dance on your plate. How mesmerizing is this? I've been playing with this magical galaxy for over an hour and the colors just kept bursting from the center. Milk and soap truly are a magical couple. Honey, I put the lunch in your bag. Yes, Mom, like always. All you need to make cute banana messages is a toothpick. Make small holes in the banana peel close to each other. You can write dotted words or make little drawings. At first, these holes will look yellow, but after a minute they will become brown. If you leave a banana on the counter, it will get browny and ripe. This happens because bananas contain an enzyme called polyphenol oxidase. This enzyme reacts with oxygen and coats the banana with a sort of rust, which accounts for the dark brown color. When making small holes in the banana peel, we are in a way speeding up this reaction. Polyphenol oxidase cells burst and mix up with oxygen. An oxidation reaction happens and the parts where we make holes turn brown. But no worries, the banana inside will remain totally intact. What a cool oxidation experiment and nonetheless amazing DIY life hack. These banana messages are so adorable and perfect to brighten up your own or your friend's day. Time to make the most epic and mesmerizing lava lamp experiment. Fill up your glass or vase with any kind of oil. I'm using the cheapest vegetable oil I could find in my supermarket. Pour in a bit of water as well. Since water has higher density than oil, it will sink to the bottom of the glass. This already looks so satisfying to watch. But you guys are not ready for the magic that happens later. Drip a few drops of food coloring into the glass. Food coloring doesn't mix with oil. Because of the density, color drops travel through the oil layer until they reach the water surface. Now for the fun part. Take any kind of fizz tablet and drop it into your glass. The tablet will immediately sink to the bottom and start releasing small bubbles of carbon dioxide gas. This happens because fizz tablet contains citric acid and baking soda. When these two ingredients react with water, sodium citrate and carbon dioxide gas are formed. Carbon dioxide gas bubbles start rising to the top and take some of the colored water along for the ride. The gas escapes into the air when it reaches the top, and colored water is left alone on the oil surface. Since water has a higher density than oil, the little water bubble falls back down. Anyhow, this lava lamp looks so so fascinating and I could literally watch these colored bubbles traveling up and down for hours. When your tablet fizzes away completely, you can simply throw in a new one and enjoy the show again. This experiment is so inexpensive to try but so satisfying to watch. A must try for sure. Wanna take a bet? I bet $10 that I can eat glass.
Of course, that's stupid.
Well, you owe me $10 because check this out. Another super yummy experiment which totally works as a delicious dessert is edible glass. Yup, this thing looks just as glass but tastes exactly like a lollipop. Take a mold, I'm using this hard silicone one, and spray it with a bit of non-stick cooking spray. Spread it around the mold evenly with a tissue paper. Now let's cook up some yummy glass. Place a pot over the heat and pour in 3.5 parts of sugar, 1.5 parts of corn syrup, and 1 part of water. Optionally, add a drop or two of food coloring. Even after the mixture starts boiling, you should keep on cooking and stirring it all the time. Your edible glass has to reach the temperature of 150 degrees Celsius or 300 Fahrenheit if you want it to set hard. Now we can take this yumminess off the heat and carefully pour it into the mold. The mixture is extremely hot, so be super careful with it. Leave your edible glass to cool down and then you can take it out of the mold. Voila! Here's our edible glass all done and it tastes delicious. The most important part when making lollipops or hard candy is that you boil the mixture until it reaches 300 Fahrenheit. Once cooled down, this candy becomes shiny, transparent, and rigid but fragile, exactly like glass. Try pranking your friends, making them believe that you can eat glass. I'm sure they'll be so confused. How flipping cool is this fizzy colored reaction, right? Pour a teaspoon of baking soda in any kind of glass, jar, or a test tube. I'm using a funnel to help me out. I want to make 6 colorful reactions, so I'm filling up 6 transparent glass tubes. To make the eruptions nice and colorful, go ahead and add a few drops of food coloring in your glass. If you skip this step, your explosions will be white, which is just as cool. I'm alternating between purple and blue in each of my test tubes. Alright, are we ready for some epic bubbly explosions? Let's quickly add a splash of vinegar to each tube and enjoy the awesome fizzy performance. Whoa, so cool, right? I made my explosions look like a galaxy with purple and blue, but imagine making one with all the rainbow colors. That will look fantastic. When the reaction slows down and the eruptions stop, you can simply pour more vinegar into your glass and watch the show once again. So what causes these fascinating explosions? Baking soda and vinegar react to form carbon dioxide gas. The carbon dioxide bubbles rise to the surface of the baking soda and vinegar mixture in the same way as the carbon dioxide rises in carbonated beverages. When the bubbles pop, carbon dioxide escapes in the air. This experiment is so affordable and easy to make, but so fascinating and cool. Have fun mixing different colors or even adding glitter and confetti. I bet they will look amazeballs. Also, you don't have to have all the protective equipment as glasses and stuff. This experiment is super safe. I just wanted to look more scientific and serious. I've seen a Skittles experiment all over the internet and it looks super cool, so I had to try it out. Take a bunch of Skittles and place them on a plate, making a giant circle, heart, star, or any other shape. I went for the tropical version of Skittles because I think the colors are prettier than with the original ones. My circle is complete and luckily there's one Skittle left for me. Yummy! Put a small amount of warm water onto a plate and watch the magic happen. The colors from Skittles will start traveling towards the center, making a magical colorful wheel. However, it seems like my table is not completely horizontal because as you can see, the colors on one side have expanded way further from the edge than the colors on the other side. Instead of a symmetrical colored wheel, I got more like a palm tree design. I actually really love it.
No, I'm so sick of this spaghetti.
Why settle down for plain and boring pasta when we can easily transform it into the most epic rainbow color explosion? This is such a fun coloring experiment, plus a totally delicious recipe. First off, you need to cook your spaghetti as usual. Fill a pot with water and wait for it to start boiling. Take any kind of pasta or spaghetti and throw it into the boiling water. When that's cooked, drain your pasta by pouring the pot of spaghetti and water through a colander. Now it's time for the fun part, which is coloring up our delicious spaghetti. Take a few smaller bowls, one for each color, and fill them up with water. Add a bit of food coloring into each bowl to color it up. I went for red, green, yellow, and blue. Keep in mind that the more color you mix in your water, the more vibrant and potent the color of your spaghetti will be. These are ready, so let's throw in our spaghetti. Leave them soak for at least 5 to 10 minutes. The longer you leave your spaghetti sit in their colorful bath, the more color they absorb and brighter they get. All that's left to do is to drain them and look at these amazing colors. I seriously didn't expect them to turn out that vibrant. Definitely the coolest spaghetti I've ever seen. Imagine inviting your friends over for a dinner and serving them this epic rainbow spaghetti. They would be so impressed and probably a bit confused too. This coloring technique is super quick and easy, so much fun to try, plus you can use it for spaghetti, macaroni, basically pasta in any shape or form. And don't be scared, the spaghetti will taste just as usual. Enjoy them like this or add any topping or sauce of your choice. Bon appetit! I've always found it so fascinating how some liquids don't mix, but they rather float on top of each other. The reason is density. Let's make an epic density experiment. I gathered various liquids that I found in my kitchen and we're gonna layer them up. First off is honey. It is the most dense of all the liquids I have. Density basically tells you how much weight is packed into a particular volume. It's a comparison between an object's mass and its volume. Next up is dish soap. It has lower density than honey, so it floats above it. If we take the same amount of two liquids or objects, the one that is heavier has a larger density. Now it's time for water. I colored it blue so that it's easier to distinguish from other liquids used in the experiment. While pouring the water in, it can mix with dish soap a bit, but it will eventually separate and gather on top due to lower density. Let's continue with oil. Oil is lighter than water, so it naturally floats above it. The last liquid to join our density tower is spirit or pure alcohol. I colored it in red to make it a bit prettier. Spirit is the lightest and the least dense liquid of all, so it stays at the top. At this point you can try experimenting with other liquids that you have. See which of those are more or less dense than water. I kinda wanna put this density tower in my room as a decoration. Let's take our experiment on a next level by dropping in some objects as well. A rubber duck stays on top as it's filled with air, which is less dense than spirit. A metal ring is the heaviest and most dense of all the liquids and objects. It sinks right to the bottom. A cherry tomato is an interesting one. As you can see, it stops right below the water surface. These plastic bits got stuck above the tomato at first, but they ended up sinking down and stopped just above the honey layer. This is so interesting, right? What a great and fun way to test density of different objects. It looks so cool to see the objects floating on different layers of our density tower. I casually decided to throw a fizz tablet into this density column, and I'm so happy that I did it because look at this epicness. The reason for this crazy tablet behavior is that the fizz tablet contains citric acid and baking soda. When these two ingredients get in contact with water, sodium citrate and carbon dioxide gas are formed. Carbon dioxide bubbles gather around the tablet and carry it on top of the tower. Once this happy bunch reaches the surface, carbon dioxide gas bubbles say bye and they escape in the air. Poor tablet is left alone, and without all the bubbly helpers, it sinks right down. This is the reason why our little fizz tablet looks like it's gone ballistic, jumping up and down the tower like a crazy bouncy ball. It's time for a super cool glow-in-the-dark experiment, which also doubles up as a delicious treat. We're making yummy glow-in-dark popsicles. To make this even more fascinating, we're gonna add gummy candy as well. Grab your favorite gummy candy. I went for gummy bears and sour gummy patches and throw them into your popsicle mold. For the glow-in-the-dark ingredient, we're using tonic water. Fill the molds with this magical glowing liquid. Lastly, we need to put the lids on and stick our popsicles into the freezer for a few hours. There we go, delicious gummy candy, glow-in-the-dark popsicles are all done and ready to eat. These popsicles also look so gorgeous with all the pretty colors, but they look even better in the dark, under the UV light. Tonic water is a carbonated soft drink which contains quinine. Quinine is a fluorescent substance. See how our popsicles glow in the dark? Pretty amazing, right? I think they're perfect for a party. You can surprise your friends with spooky glow-in-the-dark popsicles and drinks. I'm sure they would be totally amazed. What an easy, affordable, and hands-down awesome DIY treat idea. I absolutely love it. I'm bored. Let's play with sand. Don't stress out if there's no good sand playground nearby. You can make your very own rainbow sand using rice. Mix a few drops of food coloring in 1/4 cup of vinegar. Fill a Ziploc bag with 1 cup of white rice. Now pour the colored vinegar in the bag. Zip the bag tightly and have fun squishing it until all the rice is colored evenly. You can make a lot of different colors. My first one was red, here I'm making a pretty teal rice, and last but not least I have yellow. Pour your colored rice out on a tray lined with baking paper and let it dry for a few hours. I like to spread it around evenly to speed up the drying time. The rice is all dry, so let the fun begin. You can play with it just like with sand. Feels so nice and satisfying. There is seriously so many fun things you can do with this beautiful colorful rice. I honestly became like a 5-year-old playing with it. You can even use it as a decoration and fill a transparent vase with layers of colored sand. It looks so gorgeous. I wanna make colored rice in minty green and pink. It would fit my room perfectly. Next, we're making a super fascinating lemon volcano experiment. Grab a lemon, put it on your cutting board, and snip away the bottom and top parts like this. The next step is pretty aggressive, but in order to release more juice, we gotta stab our lemon a few times using a knife, spoon, or a wooden popsicle stick. Pour in about a tablespoon of baking soda. Add a few drops of food coloring, drip in a bit of soap as well, and we're ready to activate this epic bubbly volcano. Simply pour in some lemon juice and look at this cool volcano eruption. So what's the science behind these awesome volcanic explosions? Lemon juice contains citric acid. When citric acid is mixed with baking soda, the two react to form carbon dioxide and sodium citrate, which causes the liquid to fizz and bubble. Dish soap further enhances the formation of foam and bubbles. This science experiment is so exciting and fascinating, but it also smells super fresh and yummy. You can make it with any possible color. As you can see, the combination of blue and purple results in an epic galaxy eruption. How gorgeous! Lemon-scented galaxy volcano. World's coolest volcano for sure. To avoid these painful situations, let's make some DIY edible bowls. They're completely safe to eat and taste divine. Put your chocolate or candy melts in a double boiler. I'm using green and white candy melts. Due to the heat, our chocolate pieces undergo a physical change from solid to liquid. On a hot day, sunlight is usually enough to melt the chocolate, something we've probably all experienced already. How delicious does this look? Yummy! Place both white and green melted chocolate into a bowl. You can just pour the mixtures in simultaneously, but mine are quite thick, so I have to use 2 spoons to do that. Grab a knife and make a swirl to mix the 2 chocolate colors a little bit. Blow a bunch of small balloons. I'm using regular water balloons and they work perfectly. So let's make our first chocolate bowl. Dip a balloon in your melted chocolate. You can roll it around to make the bowl deeper and get more of that marble effect. Pull the balloon up and now you can decorate the bowl with loads of beautiful sprinkles. Place it on a piece of parchment paper and wait for the chocolate to harden. You can of course make lots of edible bowls by dipping more balloons into your melted chocolate. Also, be creative with your toppings. I'm using sprinkles, but anything from crushed cookies, nuts, dried fruits will work. I made my bowls look like spring grass field full of flowers and blooms. So pretty. When the chocolate is completely hard, it's time to pop the balloons. So grab a needle and let the fun begin. There we go, the bowls are done and they turned out gorgeous. For 2 colored bowls, you can simply use dark and white chocolate. I happen to have green and white candy melts on hand, so I decided to use them. I filled one up with a raspberry sorbet, whipped cream, and some sprinkles. These chocolate bowls are perfect for a party, especially because you can customize them to fit any theme. For a Halloween party, you can use dark chocolate and decorate them with Halloween-themed sprinkles. For Valentine's, you can sprinkle them with red hearts. Mine turned out like the perfect Easter baskets, right? Using only 2 kitchen ingredients, you can make this amazing glow-in-the-dark slime, which magically transforms from solid to liquid. Take about half a cup of cornstarch plus 6 tablespoons of tonic water and mix in a bowl until they're evenly combined. You'll notice that the mixture gets thick and pretty hard to mix, but as soon as you stop stirring, it becomes runny like a liquid. And when you touch it, it feels like a very hard pudding. If you take it in your hands, it behaves like a Play-Doh as long as you're moving it. The second you keep it still, this magical dough will run everywhere, just like a liquid. This is so weird. You can make your slime using only cornstarch and water, but we use tonic water, and we already know that tonic water glows under the UV light. Consequently, our magical slime glows in the dark as well. This makes it even more fascinating and cool. But why is our cornstarch slime behaving so weirdly? Applying pressure to the mixture increases its viscosity or thickness. Throwing this dough back and forth between hands makes it feel hard because it forces the cornstarch particles together. But if you leave it still for a few moments, the dough will run down your fingers like water. Standing still will give the cornstarch particles time to move, and gravity will naturally pull them down. What a fun, quick, and inexpensive DIY experiment to make. This one seriously blew me away. I'll show you how to instantly transform water into ice and grow these magical ice mountains right in front of your eyes. Take a bottle of purified or distilled water and put it in the freezer. Wait for about 2 hours and 15 to 30 minutes. Carefully take the bottle out of the freezer and unscrew the lid. Have a piece of ice or frozen metal on hand and start pouring the water on the ice. As you can see, a real ice mountain starts growing right in front of you. How flippin' amazing is that? This happens because in the freezer the water temperature has dropped below 0 degrees Celsius. Water wants to freeze, but there are no impurities to initiate the formation of ice crystals. We say that the water is super cooled. As soon as it touches the ice cube, the crystallization occurs and we get an epic ice mountain. So mind-blowing! Alternatively, try carefully pouring the supercooled water into a clean glass. The glass has to be extremely clean since even the slightest impurity can initiate the crystallization. Drop in a piece of ice and check out how ice crystals start forming instantly. How cool, right? You can totally freeze a glass of water in an instant just by dropping in a bit of ice. So there you go, me and you are just as cool and magical as Elsa from Frozen. Reading about science in books can sometimes be boring and hard to understand, but if you actually try it out, you'll find how fascinating and cool it is. These science experiments are easy, fun, and super affordable. I hope you try them out. So, which of these experiments was your favorite? I honestly had the best time filming all of them, but my favorite was probably the Milk Galaxy one because it was just so magical and mesmerizing. Give the video a big thumbs up if you want to see more experiments like this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye! Don't be afraid to try out something new, different, and crazy. Because life is one big experiment, and the more experiments you make, the better.